Hello again, and welcome to Glen session number 15. I'm Ronnie Gibson, a scholar performer of Scots fiddle music based in Aberdeen, Scotland. Today we're workshopping two sets, the 114th and 120th pairs of tunes, which come from Glen's second book, published 125 years ago. You can download the sheet music you need to take part at Glen Collection 125.wordpress.com. Do feel free to fire any thoughts or comments into the chat bar, and I see we've got a few people saying hello. Donald, hello, it's nice to have you back for more. Looking forward to some more new tunes. Absolutely, we've got a veritable flood of new tunes. It's great. It's an education in itself. Francois, many flats tonight, yes. And Leslie, you're saying tricky flats. Yes, the flats are tricky for everyone, Leslie. Take some comfort from that. And Iona, hello, it's good to have you. Well, let's start then with 114. The Strathspey is by Neil Gow. It's called Mrs. Fleming of Moness. And the real Miss Weymss of Dundee is by James Walker. He was a professor of dancing at Disser in Fife. I suppose it's a part of Kirkcaldy these days, but don't let that put you off. Right, it's a four-part Strathspey, so we'll just take them each in their turn from the beginning. I tell you what, since we are dealing in flats, it might be helpful just to have a quick play through the notes of the scale. We'll do octave at a time. So let's start fiddles on the low B flat, second finger on the G. It's the B flat below middle C. And we'll just play through. There's the starting note. And you need the first finger back. We'll go up to A1. So just an octave and then back down. Botano. Here we go. And. Good. Now back down. Just once more. And. Back down. Two flats, B flat major. Let's try the second octave. So we'll start from the first finger back on the A string. This is the B flat above middle C. And we'll go up to a fourth finger on the E. One octave up and down. Here we go. And. So the only thing to remember is no open E string. And the 3 and the 4 are together fiddles, the third and fourth fingers. Once more. First finger from B flat, first finger on the A, and. It's one thing being able to play the notes in a scale. I know it's quite another in the context of a tune, but things to think about on the fiddle at least are your wrist, your thumb, to get the hand as far back as it needs to be. The wrist needs to be back. Think about your elbow, wrist, thumb, and then try and get the fingers nice and high, and that'll help with the intonation. Okay, right. Let's return then to the Strathspey, Mrs. Fleming of Moness. Let's just give it a read, nice and steady. The first measure, the first line, is rhythmically straightforward. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. we did this at the Strathspey Real Society last year, and we really played it as a slow Strathspey. It works just fine. Now, on the bowing plane, the only thing to point out is the slur in bar 2, where it links the 4 semiquavers to the following quaver. So beat 2 into beat 3. It's 5 notes in the bow. So from the start of bar 2, you're going down, up, down, down. That's right. Down. So just resist the temptation to bow within the beat. There's one ornament in bar 3. We're not going to look at it in its own right because it's just a single note, so you can just play about with that. In terms of the phrasing, although it's within a fairly narrow range, there's still a bit of voicing that goes on, or at least there can be. The first 2 notes I hear as just one little gesture, and then there's a little breath, and then you get to the 3rd note. It's the 2nd note of the first bar, the low B flat, and you just want to give that a bit of a push. So because it's the arpeggio, but if you tum tum tee ta tum, if you have that breath after the downbeat, it gives it a nice shape. Tee tum 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 tum. Let's just try that. I'll play it, then we'll try it together. Okay, 3 and 4. And it just requires you to give that 2nd note of the bar a bit more emphasis than you would otherwise. Once more. Here we go. 3 and 4. And it's similar in bar 2 because we have the 2nd note of bar 2, again, this low B flat, and it's just sticking out of the nice sort of connected line. Yum, pom, ba da 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 dee dum dum. So it is a bit of punctuation. If I play from the beginning, have a listen, and then we'll try together. From the beginning. So there's a bit of dialogue. Dee dum 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 dee da 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 dee dum dum. Let's try it with that sort of shape in mind. 3 and 4. And then we have that voicing at the end there with the high B, and then 2 low B flats. The notes, going back to bar 2, the notes 2 and 3 from the end of the bar, they're 2 low Cs. Strictly speaking, they would be part of this lower voice, but they're so close to the upper voice. It's maybe a subtlety that we don't need to spend too much time on. Let's just try from the beginning once more, and then we'll move on. Okay, 3 and 4. There we go. It's poetry. It's very poetic. Right. The fun begins in line 2. It's all snaps until you get to the last bar. Let's play it as equal quavers, firstly, and then we'll add the snaps in. So back to the slower tempo. 3 and 4. This is a form of chording. Gow's just picking out the notes of the chord. In line 2, bar 1, we've got a chord of B flat, so we're playing all these notes of the B flat arpeggio. In the second bar, it's a chord of F. Back to B flat for bar 3, and then something a bit different just to end. It requires to have your first finger and your second finger in a sort of barring over 2 strings. So if you look at the first bar of line 2, we've got first finger on the A followed by first finger on the F. And then similarly, bar 2 of the same line, second finger on 2 strings successively. Let's just try it again once more with equal quavers, then we'll add the snaps. 3 and 4. It's such a cheeky little tag at the end after this fairly perfunctory few bars. Right, now, the thing to remember for when we add the rhythm as printed, you want to really emphasize the short note. So it's a firm down and then just let the up happen. Ya da da, dee da, 3 and 4. And again. An interesting thought, Gow was a weaver to trade, and this successive line of snaps almost sounds like the click-clack of a loom. I don't know enough about the industry in the 18th century to know if it's accurate, but it's nice to think, as long as you emphasize that short note, strong, you want lots of weight, you want to tear the bow across the string, yada, da da, da da, da da. Maybe if you have the sort of clickety clack of a loom in your mind, it's that sort of mechanistic physicality that we're maybe looking to replicate. Once more, line 2, 3 and 4. The only other thing to confirm in these bars for your sort of chording, bringing out the notes of the chord, try to keep the fingers down. So when that first finger goes down in bar 1, try and keep it down. Don't be constantly lifting it and placing it. And similarly for the second finger in bar 2. Let's just try it once more. And as little movement of the fingers as possible. 3 and 4. I don't know how the last bar fits into the loom analogy. Any thoughts? Fire them into the chat bar. Now, it's a fairly similar pattern in line 3. Let's take away the rhythm, play it as equal quavers. Line 3, back to the slower tempo, 3 and 4. And again. We're on to the lower strings. We rarely get to play down here in Scottish dance music, so we need to make the most of it. But we also need to recognise that we're perhaps doing things that we're not so used to doing. So you need a nice high elbow to go over onto the right elbow to go over onto those lower strings. You need just a bit more weight when the string's that bit thicker. And your left hand is really at times straining to get all the way over the fingerboard, so you can help with your elbow coming out in front of your belly a bit more. And if your wrist's back, that can help. It guides you to getting the right sort of shape for the left hand. Anyway, lesson over. Let's get back to this. We've got another 5-note slur in line 3, bar 2. That's just as above. The notes are identical. And then in bar 4, we've got a little ornament. It's just a third finger flick. So we'll pay no more heed to that. Still with equal quavers, line 3 again. 3 and 4. And again. Good. It's like a pedal note, this B flat, through bars 1 and 3. Do enjoy that. Right, let's add the rhythm. Ti tudden, tudden, tidden, tudden. Regardless of the tempo, these snaps are always quick, ready. In terms of part of the bow, middle of the bow might work quite well, preferably not the upper half. Right, here we go. 1, 2, with the rhythm, 3 and 4. And again. There you go. It's invigorating stuff. I remember when I first came across this Strasbourg, I was completely baffled by it. I hadn't flagged that it was, I hadn't noticed it was by Neil Gauss. I said, oh, what's this? The reel, which we'll come to, featured in the inaugural concert of the Aberdeen Strasbourg Reel Society in 1928. And as part of the 90th anniversary celebrations we had in 2018, we returned to the original programme, and it included Miss Weymss of Dundee. So when I found that in Glen it was paired with Mrs. Fleming of Moness, which I don't think was included in the programme, it's their loss. But that's how it came to it. But it's grown on me, and I see it in a new light. So hopefully it'll grow on you too. Right, line 4, equal quavers, nice and steady. Mrs. Fleming of Moness, we're in set 114, line 4, 3 and 4. The bowing is more or less as it comes. There's that slur at the end of bar 1. But the rhythm on beat 2 of the same bar isn't slurred. So fiddles, you need to really dig that out. Yan tum, ti da tum. When it comes to speeding it up, you need a lot of weight and intensity in line 4, bar 1, beat 2. It's the rhythm of 2 semis and a quaver. And then the little ornament, it's as above in bar 4. Right, let's just try it once more with equal quavers. Oh, I see it. Iona's asked, why do some tunes not have the composers mentioned? Negligence on my behalf. But if you're curious, you can look them up. They're all in the PDFs at the National Library. Initially, there was a clear distinction between Glen attributing a composer when it was clear that the tune had been composed by a named individual, and just naming the collection that it was first included in. So it might have been much older, so we don't know the composer, whatever. But in the second book, it's become a little more consistent. But I didn't have a clear strategy at the start, and it's faulty. Let's move quickly on. Line 4, equal quavers, one last time, then we'll add the rhythm. 3 and 4. It just occurs to me that we're using a lot of fourth finger for the high B flats, but also for the E flats, a fourth finger on the A. And it creates a very sort of compressed hand position. So just maybe be aware of that if you find that a bit tricky. Your hand is being sort of forced into a much smaller shape than we're used to for sort of nice, wide, sharp keys. Right, slowly, but with the rhythm this time. Something like... Something like that, maybe slightly slow. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again. I think it might be able to just do that once more, maybe slightly more measured. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again. There you go. That's the Strasby. This is Fleming of Moness. The real is Miss Weymss of Dundee by James Walker. Let's just give it a read, nice and steady. 3 and 4. And again. Now the shape in this one is of the upbeat downbeat. Ya dum da dum da dee da dum da dee da dum. It's much nicer when you play it. But it's you see that repetition at the start of each bar. We've got that B flat, bars 1, 2, and 3, and the upbeat to the B flat is the A. So it's the structure of the tune. Yadam. So just bring that out once more. 3 and 4. And again. So make sure you break the pattern between bars 3 and 4. So between bars 1 and 2, 2 and 3, we've got this da dum, but then between 3 and 4, the sequence sort of continues. Dee da da dee ya da da dee da dum pum pum. Just once more. Miss Weymss of Dundee, 3 and 4. There you go. Lovely tune. Great shape to it. Mostly quavers. It's one of these deals where it's all quavers. Interesting sort of compositional device. Right. Second measure. We're in set 114. We're on the second tune, the reel, Miss Weymss of Dundee. We're going from line 2. Nice and steady. 3 and 4. So let's look first at the ornament in line 2, bar 2. From a note 5, that quaver A. Let me just work this out. There we go, that's it slow. From the quaver A, and. Once more. Now when it comes to speeding it up, it's something like that. Yum dee yum. It's a little turn. After 2, 1, 2. And. There's a little typo. In line 2, bar 2, we've got this little ornament before the last crotchet. And the third note of the ornament is printed as a semiquaver D. It should be a semiquaver B flat. That'll help. Right. Donald's asking the last bar of line 1. How about an FA for the first chord? Yep. That'll be much nicer. Good suggestion. Yeah, probably just the 2 chords in the bar, F7 over A, and then B flat. Right. Now this downbeat B flat comes back pretty quickly. So we're looking from line 2. Between bars 1 and 2, we've got this yadam, and then between bars 3 and 4, yadam, and then at the end of line 2 going into line 3, yadam, and then yadam, the next bar, yadam, the next bar. It's more blended into the texture, but see if you can make something of it. Right, let's go back to the start of line 2 and just give it another beat. Here we go, 3 and 4. There we go, something like that. Now, just a bit of phrasing in the last couple of bars. They're grouped in 4 notes, but it's an upbeat and then 3 notes. So line 3, bar 3, we've got the upbeat, the quaver A, da dum da dee, and then the 4th note of the bar, da dee da dum, and then the upbeat to bar 4, da 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 dee dum dum. Something like that. Let's just go from line 3 with that sort of phrasing, the last couple of bars. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Okay, I think we're ready to give this a wee run. Steady tempo, firstly, set 114. The Strathspey is Mrs. Fleming of Moness by Neil Gow, and the reel is Miss Weymss of Dundee by James Walker. Okay. 2, 3, and 4. Very nice, huh? Well done. I hope that went well. Do let us know. Right, it's quite a different beast, sped up. Don't be too disheartened if it feels too quick. But this is what I've come up with. I need to set the tempo by line 2 of the Strathspey. 1, here we go, from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. something like that. Delightful set, but tricky. Certainly in the top 3 trickiest sets. Speaking of which, we arrive at set 120. If you've joined us, do let us know you're there, and hello to those of you who I know take part, but don't use the chat bar. That's absolutely fine. Right, let me know what you thought of that. We're moving now to set 120 in the Strathspey, Captain Hugh Munro by Duncan McIntyre, and the reel, it's Nathaniel this time, son of Neil. The real Miss H. Hunter of Blackness, or if you want to scare your audience, of Blackness. I think it's near Moness, on the south bank of the Forth. Right, and of course the big news is we've arrived at 3 flats. We're not going to sink any lower. There is a Strathspey by William Marshall, which is an F minor. That's 4 flats, but 3 flats is really within the at the outer level of civility. Right, Captain Hugh Munro. We'll come back to the title, but let's begin. Well, I'll tell you what, let's begin by quickly zipping through E flat scale. You can't even play an open A string fiddles. 4th finger on the D is required. So 3 and 4 are together on the D, 3 and 4 are together on the A. It doesn't apply. Well, it kind of applies. On the E, it's a low 3rd finger, so the 3 and the 4 aren't together, because you need the low 3 for A flat and then a B flat. So let's just play through from 1st finger back on the D, that's the E flat above middle C. Ready, 3, 4. 4. 4. Good, and back down. 4. 4. Okay, once more. Here we go. And if we play just this second half, the first half of the 2nd octave, so starting on the top note that we finished on there, and if we play up, 2 and 3 are together. Have a listen. Ready? So from a 4th finger on the A string, and 2 and 3 together. Once more, and. Okay, that's the lesson over. I see we're already a bit over time. This session might run late, but I understand if you have to dash, you can always catch up later. Anyway, equal quavers, nice and steady, something like. Even slower, yes. 3 and 4. There we go. And particularly well done if you didn't falter with any open A's, because there's a few chances to trip you up. Right. Let's keep the tempo low, but add in the rhythm. And the title is significant. Captain Hugh Munro suggests a sort of military figure, and you need to play with a sort of military formality. So let me just demonstrate, even slow. Okay, here we go. 2, 3, and 4. If the tuning persists as an issue, you can always try taking away all the rhythm altogether and just playing 2 bows for every note. To really focus in on the tuning and help your fingers find where they need to go. Anyway, let's just try that once more with the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, and 4. In line 2, bar 3, those equal quavers are a breath of fresh air. Right, once more, and then we'll move on to the second measure. Captain Hugh Munro from the top. 3 and 4. It's a minor detail, I know, especially when the notes are so challenging. But in bar 2, line 3, nice and springy. Just to contrast, I see Donald's saying a sting in the tail with the speed. Aha! Don't worry about that. It works. The previous set works just as nicely. A more stately tempo. Right. The only other thing to point out in this first measure, well, one thing we can point out is this 3-note upbeat. It comes at the very start and then before bar 3, and then as an upbeat to the second line, so at the end of the first line. Yaladam. And really it should feel as if they're all in one bow. It didn't work out trying to bow it that way. So you need to be connected. Let's just try the upbeat to the downbeat at the start. Yaladam. And make it nice and connected. Ready? 2, 3, and 4. And again, 3 and 4. 2 last time, and 4. That's it. And it's all quite off the string. You don't need to be too legato in terms of the stroke. There should be enough resonance on that bottom string to let these notes sort of ring past the time that you're bowing them. Just see how you want to. Anyway, right, let's move on to line 3. This is the second measure. Equal quavers, nice and slow. 3 and 4. And it gets even worse. 4 flats, because in line 4, bar 3, we've got a D flat. So that's a fourth finger on the G. Your third and fourth finger would be together in terms of the spacing. Right, let's just try that again. From line 3, equal quavers, 3 and 4. There we go. Right, now with the rhythm, same sort of tempo though. I'll try not to over-exaggerate the pointedness. That'll probably help. 3 and 4. Let's just try that again. It's a very beautiful melody. It's just tricky. But we knew it was going to be tricky when we saw the key signature. Right. Last time, Captain Hugh Munro, line 3, as printed, 3 and 4. It just occurs to me a genuine health warning. If you feel that your hand or your sort of forearm is beginning to feel strained with playing in these unfamiliar keys, do take a wee break and return to it once your hand's feeling better. Don't play through any discomfort quite seriously. Right, let's put a pin in the Strathspey and move on to the reel. Miss H. Hunter of Blackness, Nathaniel Gow, same key. So we'll just give it a little play. The rhythm in bar 2, we've got these 3 notes under the slur. It's a syncopated crotchet. Those 2 F quavers, notes 2 and 3, are as a crotchet. You don't need to re-emphasize the second. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. So we've got this low third finger to be starting on. It's almost a statement, in itself, to say, you have to be good to play this tune if you can find the starting note. Good luck. So that you can judge it by having the second finger down. Second finger is easy enough to find, and then just tuck the 3 in on top. So second finger's already down. You're found it on top, and that's you ready to go. Okay, here we go. So you got your second finger down, just tuck the 3 on top, the fingers out together. Ready, 2, 3, and 4. That sensation of the third finger being pulled back to play the A flat reminds me of playing pinball, where you have to pull that spring down at the start, and you know, normally in the game you release it and the ball fires off around the maze, but there's no release when you're playing an E flat on the fiddle. Your hand's pulled back like that spring, and it has to stay there. So find the right shape for your hand that works to make that more comfortable. Right. Now, line 2, the second measure. Miss H. Hunter of Blackness. Nice and steady. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's a little trick in this measure. If you compare line 2, bar 2, with the bar below, they look more or less the same, but there's one note different. In line 2, bar 2, the penultimate note is a D, but in line 3, bar 2, the penultimate note is a C. It's a repeat of the previous note. So when you start to learn how the tune goes, when you become more familiar with that, it becomes more of a challenge if you're not closely reading the music. But it's just that topic of variation within repetition that we've discussed to a fair extent. Right, once more. The second line, Miss H. Hunter of Blackness. 2. Before we do, let's try and speed up these semiquavers. Yadlum, dee da da dee da da. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, once more, and then we'll give the set a run. 2, 3, and 4. I'm not making excuses, but it's a sweltering night here in Aberdeen City, and the fiddle is beginning to sort of sour in the heat. It's not just that I'm finding a challenge playing in flats. Right, here we go then. Set 120, the Strasbourg, Captain Hugh Munro, and the real Miss H. Hunter of Blackness. A steady tempo, and I mean steady. Here we go. Yadadam, daddy, dadam. 2, 3, and 4. There you go. Well done. Ready for the full speed version? Here we go. Ta-dum, da-dee, da-dum. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think I need to lie down after that. That's about it for this video. Thanks for taking part. A fair workout, but it's good, every now and again. We meet next on Monday. We'll continue our exploration of the Glen Collection. In the meantime, take care and keep playing.